diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Christopher Dye, who's an offensive guard at Kennesaw State. How's it going, sir?
I'm good. You?
I'm doing well. Why don't you just go ahead and give me a brief summary of your overall career?
I graduated from high school in 2016. I graduated from Greenville High School in Mississippi. I enrolled into Holmes Community College in Goodman, Mississippi, just a little small town inside of Mississippi. I rotated in my freshman year there, and I started my sophomore year. And my sophomore year kind of came to an end kind of fast. It ended with me tearing my ligaments in my right ankle, and after that, I had surgery or whatnot. So and then I graduated from Holmes in May. So after graduation there, I signed to Kennesaw State. They kind of jumped on me late. They was recruiting me, and they kind of jumped on me late. And when I took my visit here, it was so nice and special, and it was just saying something, just telling me like, Chris, that's where you need to be. And here I am.
Great. I mean, and since you've been there at Kennesaw, I mean, you've actually done a fantastic job. I realize that you're the starting left guard there. You guys at Kennesaw State, I mean, you pretty much run a triple option there. I mean, obviously, very run-heavy scheme. But, I mean, being able to be named like first team all-conference is actually a great deal. So just kind of want to chat with you a little bit and get your take. I mean, what do you feel is like, I don't know, maybe one of the best attributes that you bring as a teammate?
As a teammate, I feel that I bring great leadership because I'm always trying to lead by example and always trying to uplift my teammates and let them know that, hey, I got your back. Whatever you in whatever situation, you can depend on me. I got your back, and I never turn my back on my teammates.
Cool. And I kind of want to just get your take maybe just on this off season. I mean, obviously, it kind of stinks that we're not watching Kennesaw State football right now. But just kind of let me in on where you're at. How are you staying motivated during this time?
Honestly, just being around the game, being around my brothers, the coaches, they keep me motivated, seeing them through the Zoom meetings or whatnot, and then going out on the practice field and just having fun with the guys running around,
Gotcha. Definitely, sometimes, for some people, it is kind of hard to stay motivated. I mean, obviously, you're also, watching, whoever is on, TV right now.
Right.
But I mean, you guys will eventually get there. I mean, I know that the game plan is more or less to play spring ball. And so like everything right now is kind of flip flop with like schedules, but
right.
Hey, I mean, obviously we want to, get you guys on the field as soon as we can. So Chris, just, I don't know, tell me a little bit about you. I don't know, when you're studying your opponent, let's just chat with for a little bit there. When you're studying your opponent, what are some things that that you're looking at, like when you're breaking down your opponents? Just kind of walk me through you in like just a general film session for you.
First, I look at my opponents. I try to identify their strengths and their weaknesses, and I try to figure out their best move, their move that they always go to, like their go-to move, and I also try to look at their counters. that counters as well if those go-to moves don't work.
Cool. And I guess just to follow up with that, who has been some of your best competition over the years? I mean, usually when you have, fans and evaluators kind of, give their take on guys from small schools, it's always, well, these guys play lesser competition. Well, you tell me, who's been some of your best competition over the years?
Over the years, I faced a good group of guys, the ones who stick out more to me probably was when I was in JUCO. I played against Montez Sweat when he was at Capaya Lincoln, Colin, and we played against them, and they had like a stacked defensive line. Like I don't remember most of the guys' names, but he was just one of the ones that stuck with it and just made something of himself, and now he's doing what he's doing in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're playing against a guy who is really, he's a first-round draft pick, really doing great things for the Washington football team. I mean, he's part of a very aggressive, probably one of the best defensive fronts in all of professional football. So yeah, I mean, that's really really a man among boys there, at community college for sure. So, I mean, again, Chris, when I look at you and I look at your team and what you guys do, some of the things that really stick out to me is just the fact that you guys are first and foremost great athletes. I mean, when you run that triple option, like you really need to be able to move around the field, be able to fly down, and to really just to continue to pound away, because that is just more or less your mentality. I mean, you're just trying to break the will of your opponent and just kind of keep punching them in the mouth so that you guys can eventually go down there and score. But tell me maybe about some of your best moments of being a football player so far. Has there been maybe a highlight or two that you want to share throughout your experiences?
My first year in JUCO, we went to Iowa and played Iowa Western, and we played them for the Graphic Edge Bowl, and we started slow that game, but ended up coming back, scored like 14 unanswered points, and came back and took the lead coming out of the half. And also in 2018, my first year here, it was actually my redshirt year. We went down to Monmouth, and we beat them for the conference, and that was just one of the biggest games that I've been a part of. And also the Jacksonville State game when we went into 5 overtimes in the same year.
5 overtimes, goodness gracious, man! Like that's just a long, grueling matchup. Like when you go through 5 overtimes, man, like that's just crazy.
Right.
I just remember, like, I've watched, maybe a couple of your guys' games from like last season. I remember, just watching you guys do your thing. Really, one of the favorite guys that I was watching when I was watching your game was Bronson Rechsteiner. I mean, dude was just a beast. I mean, you guys have him as a fullback. I mean, I know that he, originally when, draft season kind of kicked off, I mean, he ended up signing with the Baltimore Ravens. I know he's eventually going to go the pro wrestling route, but I mean, really one of my favorite guys there. Since I'm talking about it, let's just kind of give a shout out to some of your teammates, man. I mean, who there over the course of your time there at Kennesaw has really impressed you? I mean, chat with me a little bit about that.
First, I want to give a shout out to my whole offensive line group. Those are my guys. I love them to death. We go to battle every day with each other, and we just keep going through it every day. And we come together as one, and we just continue to fight. Also, I want to give a shout out to my guy Bryson Armstrong and Kareem, those 2 linebackers. Those guys, they just dogs, no matter the situation, they always just out there running around, always around the ball, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a couple linebackers, especially in Bryson, really doing an excellent job getting on the like Buck Buchanan Award like finalist lists, and really putting up all these mad crazy stats, and flying all around the field, making plays. I mean, really one of the better linebackers in all of FCS football. So I mean, yeah, being able to have a guy like that on your team is definitely great. But you guys have a lot of good guys like everywhere, really. I mean, on your offensive line, you have a lot of good guys running the football. So I mean, you guys, you have a pretty decent team there at Kennesaw State. So kind of along those lines, since we're there, let's just go ahead and give a shout out to maybe some of the coaches and mentors in your life. Who do you want to give a little bit of love to?
First and foremost, I want to shout out to God for helping me get through all the trials and things that I was going through. I also want to shout out to my mom for helping me be a man, for helping me being the person that I am today. And I also want to shout out to a few of my high school coaches. They the reason that I'm the player that I am today, because they worked the laziness out of me. It was either, hey, you're not gonna play, or you're gonna put your head down and you're gonna work hard, and you just gonna keep going, even when times get tough, man. You just gotta keep going.
Gotcha. So, tell me just a little bit about yourself, like other than being a football player. I realize that you recently graduated with a degree in integrative studies. And I think also a little bit like there's a coaching thing in there too. So I don't know if maybe you want to elaborate a little bit on what you've been doing there as a student.
I graduated in this past May with an integrative studies degree, and I also minored in coaching. As a student, I always try to manage my time, and try not to procrastinate as much, because waiting to the last minute is one thing that you don't want to do in college. And I got my fair share of it, and that's one thing that I could say that I would continue to work on as long as I live, honestly.
Gotcha. So, anything else about yourself that you want to share, like in this video? Any hobbies, interests, passions that you want people to know about?
I really don't do too much. I probably just play the video game, probably listen to music. I also like to cook a little bit too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're offensive lineman. You should, it is what
Right.
it is. But hey, man, as we begin to wrap up, I try my best to always ask this question, which is really just the why question. So tell me maybe why you play football and just a bit of your motivation.
I play football because I love the game overall. I love running through people's faces. I love putting people on their back. Like I just love the game because it's an escape from life. You can have one thing, you can have a whole lot of things going on in the world, but as soon as you scrap those shoulder pads up and put their helmet on and get in between those lines, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It's just you, the football, and your opponent. And that's all you can see. That's all you could think about. And one thing that motivates me is the death of my grandma. She died in October of last year from cancer, and to know that she's up there in heaven watching over me and smiling down upon me because she's happy because I did something with myself. Coming from where I'm from, not too many people make it out. So I know that she's proud of me for making it out, and doing something with my life that I could actually be proud of.
Gotcha. And very last question for you is just your opportunity to, give your final pitch to a professional team. I mean, what kind of player would they be getting if they took a chance on you?
If an NFL team took a chance on me, they'll be getting a student of the game. A student of the game who was always willing to learn, who was always willing to try new things, and an all-around team player. Like, I know I play guard, but I know I play guard right now, but if you get me into the NFL, give me a shot, I'm willing to play any position on the offensive line. Literally any position on offense, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully whenever you do get a chance to get out there and practice, I mean, take a few snaps, I mean, see if that works. I mean, because you figure anything that you could do, anything that you can add to your tool belt, so to speak, will certainly help you and in your position with other teams.
Right.
But Chris, one of the main things that, again, I've kind of touched on with regards to one of the things that I really like about you is really just, the mentality of, your coaches that has really just instilled upon you really in just your scheme. And that is just kind of a grinder's mentality, being able to go out there, use your athleticism, get yourself down the field, and just kind of, overcome the will of your opponents. And eventually go down the field and score, which, you've done a great job over the years, just in your conference overall. So, yeah, people just need to turn on the tape and watch you do your thing. I mean, you guys do a great job. Chris, I do wish you best of luck moving forward. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Again, this is Christopher Dye. He is a guard out of Kennesaw State. Check him out.
Appreciate you.